Assalamualikum OyaRahmatullahe OyaBarakatuhu. Welcome to my virtual classroom MKA CLASSROOM. Now let's start today's video tutorial. Today we will start share valuation model. The valuation model used to estimate the intrinsic value of a share is the present value model. The intrinsic value of a share is the present value of all future amounts to be received in respect of the ownership of the share computed at an appropriate discount rate. So it is clear that the intrinsic value of a share is the present value. What type of present value? The present value of all future amounts received from that ownership of the share. The major receipts that come from the ownership of a share are the annual dividends and the sale proceeds of the share at the end of the holding period. So it is clear that the major receipt that come from the ownership of a share is the annual dividend and the sale proceed of the share at the end of holding period. So it is clear that dividend and sale of share, these are the returns from the share at the end of the holding period. These are to be discounted to find their present value using a discount rate. That is the rate of return required by the investor. So investors has a required rate of return from his investment that is treated as here discount rate, that is treated as a discount rate. Taking into consideration the risks involved and the investors' other investment opportunities. So basically the model of share valuation are two types. One is 1 year holding period model, 1 year holding period model, and another is multiple year holding period model. Multiple year holding period model. Actually these are the two models which are used to determine the value of a share. Now one after another we will try to discuss these two types of model. First of all, 1 year holding period model. So that is very easy. So it is easy to start a share valuation with 1 year holding period assumption. Here an investor intends to purchase a share now and hold it for 1 year and sell it off at the end of 1 year. So it is very clear that 1 year holding period model, that means investor will hold this share for 1 year, and after 1 year he sells the share. That is 1 year holding period model, and between this year start and end he will receive a dividend. So in this case the investors would be expected to receive an amount of dividend as well as the selling price after 1 year. So the model should be in this way, model should be in here. So model is S0 equal to D1 divided by 1 plus k power n plus S1 divided by 1 plus k power n. Here D1 is the amount of dividend expected to be received at the end of year 1, and S1 equal to selling price expected to be realized on the sale of the share at the end of year 1. K, rate of return required by the investor, or required rate of return. So these are the valuation model, 1 year holding valuation model. So D1, that means you receive dividend during the period, and S1 selling price of the share. For example, if an investor expect to get 3.5 as dividend from a share next year and hopes to sell that share at 45 taka after holding it for 1 year, and if his required rate of return is 25%, then the model shows that the value would be in this way. From the example we see that dividend received expected 3.50 for the next year, expect to receive dividend, and after 1 year he can sell his share by the 45 taka, and his required rate of return is 25%. So after that the present value of this share should be, if we calculate this equation by our calculator, then our value should be 38.80 near about, or it is about, this is taka. So these are our present value or intrinsic value. So you can call it is the intrinsic value because these are the present valuation model. So we use, these are the present valuation model. So present value, or you can call it the intrinsic value. So what does it mean? It means that the investor would buy this share only if its current market price is lower than this value. This investor will purchase this share only when its market price is below this amount, 38.80. The investor will buy this share if market price is less than, market price is lower than this value, this value 38.80 taka, then this share will be purchased by the investor. So this is the rules of share valuation model. If the intrinsic value is lower, if the market price is lower than the intrinsic value, then you can purchase this share. If the market price is lower than the intrinsic value, then you can purchase this share. So this is the rules. After that, we will see multiple year holding period model. So it seems that an investor may hold a share for a certain number of years and sell it off at the end of his holding period. In this case, he would receive annual dividends each year, and the sell price of the share at the end of his holding period. So it is very simple. He holds this share for the multiple year, and each year he will receive dividend. So the model should be in this way. So the model should be is not equal to D1 or expected dividend 1 year divided by 1 plus k power n plus the expected dividend 2 or expected dividend for the year 2 plus divided by 1 plus k power 2. Yes, and continue for the dividend for the period n divided by 1 plus k power n, and finally the selling price of share is n divided by 1 plus k power n. You can show it by separately, or you can show it by a single in a amount. So here D1, D2 or D3 or D4 is the annual dividend to be received in each year. Sn is the selling price at the end of holding period, K investors record rate of return, and N is the holding period or holding year of shares. So we will see an example. Example tell that if an investor expect to get 3.50 for the first year dividend, 4 for the second year dividend, 4.5 dividend as the third year from a share during the next 3 years, and hopes to sell it at 75 taka at the end of third year, and if his required rate of return is 25%, then what would be its present value, or what would be its intrinsic value of this share? Then we can calculate it easily by the use of this model. So this shows that. So by the calculating, we see that at the end of first year it received 3.50 dividend, 1 plus k is here 25%, so 1 plus 0.25 equal to 1.25 power 1, plus second year he received 4 as a dividend, 1.25 power 2, and the third year it receives dividend 4.5 divided by 1.25 power 3, and the end of third year it sells this share at a 75 taka. So the present value should be, by the calculating this with our calculator, the result should be 46.06 taka. If the market price is below this amount, then he can purchase this share. So it is clear that the market price of this share is lower than this value, the investor will purchase this share. In the same way, the investor will sell this share if market price is higher than this intrinsic value. So we know that whenever we sell, that is the higher price, and whenever we purchase or buy, that should be lower price. So it is too much clear for us that this is the intrinsic value. If market price is lower than this intrinsic value, then investor will purchase this share. But at the time of selling, if the market price is higher than this intrinsic value, he will sell the share. In this way, he will gain from his investment. He will earn profit from his investment. He can earn profit in his investment. So that is the general rules of our purchasing. So we purchase at lower price, we sell with the higher price. So this is the general rules. We are generally follow these rules. So in the same way, whenever we share valuations calculate, that means we will purchase the lower price and we will sell whenever this price is high. That's why we have to calculate the intrinsic value, and this value will tell us whenever we will purchase the share and when we will sell the share. So from our calculation, it is seen that it has intrinsic value of 46.06 taka. It means that if the market price of this share is less than this 46.06 taka, he will buy this share, and whenever the market price is greater than 46.06 taka, he will sell the share. That is the rules of sell. And here we will describe these two model. One is 1 year holding model, another is multiple year holding model. These two models tells us that when we purchase and when we will sell our share, and when we will get profit or gain from our investment. So if we sell and buy in this way, then we have profit from our investment, or we gain our capital from our investment. In the next class, we will discuss another models which are mostly common models, or basically that is the classifications of multiple year holding period model. This all about today. Stay home, stay safe. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuhu.